and sit on the toes. And while doing this, plug the nose. And make some witchy sounds and get that voice going. So what we're doing with the witch is seeing if that voice is sort of back here and bringing it forward and opening up the resonance chamber in the front. Like so. Your pets and family will love it. Big circles. And then go, hey! And come off the toes. Sit on the feet, with the feet flat now. And now dropping back and water skiing onto a little bit of an ankle stretch. And then back onto the toes. And back to witch. Get it until it buzzes and tickles right in the front. Keep going. And then come up. Grab your 5-inch volcano ball. So this is a little zoomitis solve. I think we've done this before. Hold the ball under the chin, press down with the chin about 30% of your strength, and back and forth. And then out, mobility, and switch arms, 30%, back and forth. So it's gentle but deliberate lateral movement, side to side, east-west. And release. Wiggle your head around a little bit. Excellent. Back to sitting on the toes. Tuck the toes under. Back to witch. Couple of times. And then, hey! Noticing how that voice feels after the witch. And come up. And off, onto all fours. Cat twist, hey. Hey. Inhale up. Hey. Inhale up. Happy puppy he. Remember to pull back on that front arm hip as well. Down dog ho. Upward dog ha. Child's resting pose. Knees together, knees apart, hands forward, hands back, hands in between the legs, whichever you like. Letting the floor take your entire weight. Remember, in child's resting pose, if the knee joints are hurting, little blanket between the two halves of the legs. If the ankles don't like it, a little bit of a blanket under the ankles. And if the hips don't like it, a little bit of blankets in your hip crease. Just put the blanket wherever isn't liking child's resting pose. And then coming back to all fours. One more set of hey hee ha ho. Sorry, hey hee ho ha. Cat twist hey. I'll let you make the racket without me this time. Lots of wiggling. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. See, strangely enough, we tend to forget how to wiggle. So the wiggling I'm talking about is more like luxuriating. It's an embodied wiggle. So for instance, and I know none of you are doing this, but I'll just show you. This is what I see a lot. Cat twist. I'll come a little closer. do cat twist, and this is the wiggle I see. So that's definitely not embodied. That's just doing something that some guy has asked you to do. So wiggling is from an internal sense of what you need to wiggle. It's a noticing, it's a somatic, internal wiggle where you're really exploring and you're really in it, and there's lots of luxuriating going on. So let's do the other side, cat twist with an embodied wiggle. Inhale up. Happy puppy, same embodied luxuriating going on. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale up. Down dog, lots of wiggling here. Oh. And a feeling of release on the upward dog. Ah. Yeah, the breath will never last as long in upward dog. That's okay. And let's come up and up to standing. So we're going to use the voice. So you recall how I talk about downward dog is not an up pose in our bodies. In our brain it is, in our front brain it is. But downward dog was never meant to be an up pose. It's a down pose with our energy and thoughts and our strength, and then the hips float up and downward dog is easy and we feel like we weigh half as much. That's hugely important for, well, all of life, because that's how our body was meant to move. It feels like a release as we move as opposed to a clench, clunk, clank, sort of first generation Iron Man armor kind of thing where we're not feeling fluid. So the same thing goes for this set of poses. We're going to lift our legs, but it's not about lifting your leg. It's about sending the thoughts down, and the leg comes up as a coincidence. One is flow, the other, of course, is not. So it'll look like this, and we're going to use our voice and our breath through our right leg. And I'll show you. After this, you get to pick the vowel. Hey. So that leg came up as I was thinking about the hay and the breath down through this leg, not now I'm lifting this leg and I've left this leg in my brain. So here we go. Inhale. Hey. Catch the heel. Pressing the knee down, lifting the front body up, shoulder blades down. Experiencing this as a warrior pose, a peaceful warrior, one of the greatest books ever written. Shoulder blades down the back, chest proud, lower ribs in, Send another hey through that standing leg. Hey. The reverberation of our voice accentuates the yoga, makes it work better, period. The future of yoga is voice. One of my Instagram posts about 6 months ago. Inhale. Hey, drop the knee and return to center. Returning to Tadasana and noticing the two legs. Switch the feeling of grounding with your mind. Switch it to the other foot. Inhale. Through the left foot. Hey. You can have your hand out here for balance, of course. Down through the bent knee, up through the front body, down through the back body. Checking, many of us will be crunching the lower back in this, so most of us need to tuck the tailbone just a little bit, which you may feel in your quad of the bent leg, and that's okay. Balance if you need it. Send another hey through that standing leg. Lift out of the standing leg. Lift out of the standing leg. So when you're sending the hey through the leg, can you feel it in the bottom of your foot? Can you feel the resonance, the reverberation? One more. Hey. The voice is engaging your core. Way better than trying to clench it. Inhale. Hey, come out. Hey. Want to know how to engage your core? Sing. Or, if singing is too then just make those sounds. Hey! Core engages. You've got the right amount of Multifidi and transverse abdominis. There it is. There's your answer. There's your core work. As opposed to all right. Number 2. Setting the energy through, pick a leg. Try a different vowel, and this time, hey. We're going to bring the leg up in front. Okay. So pick your vowel and think about and send your energy through the standing leg, not the raised leg. Hey. And if you need balance, again, you can hold with one hand and balance out with the other arm. Or you can just put yourself up against a wall. That's totally fine. Lift through the standing leg. Space in the psoas. Shoulder blades down the back. Front body proud. Send another vowel through that standing leg. Inhale. Hey, come back down. Way to go. Switch the feeling of grounding between the 2 feet with your mind, with your imagination. Imagination is the gateway to the subconscious, which is the gateway to the endless possibilities of you. There is no such thing as it's just your imagination. That is incorrect. Inhale. Reaching, opening through the standing leg. Back of the body down, front of the body up. Soft jaw, soft gaze. Send another vowel through that standing foot to keep it active. Hey. Feeling tingling in your foot when you make a vowel. Hey. Almost there. Inhale. Hey. Back down. And gently walk it out. Well done. And if that was broken up into two standings, that's totally fine. Do what you can. All right. I bet you're thinking, what's coming next, Dave? I'm really looking forward to it. Well, there's one more in this series. We've gone back, we've gone forward, so guess what? Taking a look. Inhale. Oh. Did I hear someone go pff out there? Well, that's possible. If this is your pose, totally fine. And if this is your pose and then out, totally fine. Whatever you can do. So again, if this is really tricky for you, or if there's a stiff breeze in your yoga room, go up against a wall. And try it that way a few times, if that helps. Or straight arm against the wall. You'll probably want to lean a little bit, if this is the first time you've tried it, towards the wall, slight angle, because of course all the weight and the want to fall goes on to this side. Right? Let's give it a shot. And if half of you have just gone into Shavasana and said, screw that pose, I totally get it. Inhale. Lift out of the standing leg. Back of the body down, front of the body up. Same idea. Breathe. Jaw. Eyes soft. I can't see you, but I know you're doing great. Inhale. Ho out. Ho. Or whatever vowel you used. Restabilize. Switch the feeling between the 2 feet with your imagination, with your consciousness. Inhale. Exhale. Lift out of the standing leg. Back of the body down. Front of the body up. Breathing low. The leg is bent again, just fine. Wow, what a difference between the two sides for me. This side is much less stable. Breathing, inhale. Oh, back down. Well done. A few shakes. Soften the jaw joints. Good. Water break. Odds are most of us could use some water after all that. While we're here, squeeze the shoulder blades together, clasp the hands, reach the hands away from the tailbone, and then reach them a little farther away from the tailbone, and a little farther. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, reach. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, reach. One more, squeeze, reach, and stand. Another zoomitis pose. Send a ha through your shoulder girdle. Ah. And release. So in yoga, the voice engages the core, and the resonance releases muscles and fascia. Oh, that sounds good. Sounds really good. When we let it. Red volcano ball once more. You can come down onto the knees. Let's do our number one zoomitis pose again. 30% down, side to side. And switch hands. And let go. Since you've got the balls handy, yellow sun ball. We're all thinking about the sun as we're heading towards summer. A sunner summer. Ribs and rib mobility, intercostals, serratus, so important for every kind of health and every system in our body to have this area free. You've heard me say before, this is the first part of the body that starts to atrophy after about 22, because we just don't do this as humans often. Unless we're a shot putter or a yogi or an actor. It's just not natural in life. So, find that spot that you know is right. And this is a little tricky at first. Usually the legs are bent and slightly spread so that we kind of figure out ballast. And this arm, kind of wish we could detach it for this pose. Not quite sure where to put it. Usually just down on your body. And a pillow for your head. So the pillow goes between the shoulder and the head. Play around till you find the spot. Where you feel like you can lie as if you were going to go to sleep without any sense of having to hold muscles tight in order to sustain the pose. You can do a little bit of intentional breathing into the ball if you like, just nothing forceful. But being able to feel like you're breathing into only one lung is kind of cool. I mean, it's not exactly physiologically correct, but we can engage the serratus and intercostals and kind of press into that ball, get some lift. Just that awareness is good. Of course, the ball is the best way because it's springy. It's pressing back. Basically does the work twice as fast as a bolster or a pillow because it doesn't spring back as you release. Feel free to move it to a slightly different position. Eventually, you'll start to notice something shifting in your solar plexus along the midline. That's when we know we're winning. Inhale, exhale, come out. And let's lie on our backs for a moment and feel if we notice anything vis-a-vis the two sides of the rib cage. Cool, eh? All right, other side. Same deal. Pillow, ball, rib cage. Pick the spot, which you can always change. Again, figuring out whether the legs need to be stacked or in bicycle riding position where they're kind of spread. Just work it out so you could, if you wanted to, just go to sleep. Sometimes this arm, it can help to have it in front. Other times we just want it out of the way. Up to you. Big sigh. Big sigh just to release any tension that might be building up unbeknownst to us. Always good to check in with a sigh if we start to fade into Xanadu. And inhale. Come up. And again, lying on our backs and checking out the lay of the land. Two sides of the rib cage. Hug your knees to your chest. Hey. Release your arms, but leave your knees there. And side to side. Lots of big breathing. Voice if you want. Voice will help accentuate the pose. Keep you in your body. Engage your core. And you might migrate as you do this down your yoga mat. That's okay. Go for a little trip. Since we can't get on a plane these days, maybe go for a waddle across your yoga mat instead. Notice how your voice reacts to the pose. Notice how your pose reacts with your voice. And if you've migrated, come back up. Find your favorite blanket and place yourself under it for Shavasana. Thank you. Well done. Make sure as you move, you continue to breathe. Keeping that six-pack out of the game. Our voice also gives us awareness of how to move properly. Big sigh. Melting into the floor. Inhale, exhale, wiggle some things and roll over to your right hand side. Big hug